Excuse me, Mr. Marrick. Brooke English is here to see you.
Hello, Dimitri.
Thank you, Lucy. Now, to what do I owe this unusual pleasure?
Well, obviously, Edmund isn't here.
Only if he's trespassing. Brooke, why, have you lost him again?
I don't find anything funny in this.
You find anything funny about his filing a bogus paternity suit against my dead father? Well, neither do I. Now, if you are looking for your lying fiancé, Brooke, you could have called.
I could have. But when I have something to say, I like to say it face to face.
We may have Dimitri exactly where we want him.
You realize this is a little extreme.
Yeah, I know. But will it work?
Look, Edmund, there are going to be a lot of people that say this is going too far, way too far. And I think it's safe to assume that Dimitri will be among them. If we go ahead with this thing, he's going to scream bloody murder.
Look, I don't care what Dimitri does. I'm proving I'm Hugo Marrick's son, all right? No matter what it takes.
You realize he's going to come at you tooth and nail. He's going to do everything he can to block this.
Fine, he can try, but we can win, Jack.
Maybe. Depends a lot on Dimitri's strategy, Edmund.
Great. I want to start on this first thing tomorrow morning.
Great. Just hold on a second, will you? Look, this amounts to us changing horses in midstream, all right? New filings, a new court. This thing is hasty. It's aggressive, for sure, not to mention it's just a little bit
gruesome,
yes.
Grim, ghoulish. I know.
I mean, petitioning the court to exhume the remains of Hugo Marrick and Alfred Gresham so that we can do DNA tests on them. Evan, that's going to stick in a lot of people's craws.
So?
At least tell me who did the research on this, will you?
Does it matter? It's current.
Current as of when?
As of today, up to the minute. Legal, scientific information pertaining to this state, Jack. I think we should move on it right away.
And just wait. I take it that you've made a full consideration of just what exactly exhumation means.
Yeah, it means digging up the remains so you can compare the genetic imprint.
That's my point, Edmund. Digging up the remains.
All right, you want to call it grave robbing? Whatever is required, I want the truth.
Well, I'm sure you want the truth. I just want to know, are you ready for all the major fallout that you're going to catch?
Ask me if I care.
Well, you'll care plenty when Dimitri trots out the heavy artillery. Excuse me. Yes, Nancy.
Hi, there's a Mrs. Helga Voynitseva here to see you, and she says it's an emergency.
Well, fine. Send her in. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Montgomery, thank you. Edmund.
Hello, Helga. Let me guess. Dimitri sent you.
So, you have something to say to me?
How is Angelique?
Dr. Martin has recommended complete rest and glorious seeing to it. Angelique will be leading a rather quiet life for a while until she regains her strength.
Her collapse could have been avoided, Dimitri.
I will tell that to the man who fired the first shot.
How can I do that? This fight started a generation ago. It's not your fault, and it's not Edmund.
Brooke!
As much as you hate it, Edmund is telling the truth.
So you believe?
Yes.
That's your problem.
And what about Angelique? Angelique is in love with you, and yet she is sure that Edmund is telling the truth.
You don't know what she's sure of.
I have talked to her, and so have you. And you know the toll that this is taking on her health. She didn't collapse in the hospital because of the stress of the fighting. She collapsed because of the stress of not being believed.
You didn't know Hugo Marrick. Edmund and Angelique didn't either, not really, but I did. He wouldn't father a son and not acknowledge him. He was incapable of such a despicable act.
Dimitri, your father wasn't a saint. He was a human being.
He was a decent, honorable man.
A man. With human strengths and weaknesses, isn't it possible that he found comfort with another woman?
Damn it!
In your mother? Isn't it possible that that other woman was Flora Gresham, Edmund's mother?
Dimitri did not send me. And your secretary didn't tell me that he was here. I wouldn't have barged in.
No, listen, that's quite all right. Now, you were saying something about an emergency.
Perhaps it's best I speak to you both.
Well, perhaps it's best to take first things first. Why don't you first tell us how Angelique is doing?
Resting in bed, as her doctors advise.
Good.
She's why I'm here, but I would prefer no one knew of this meeting.
I won't squeal.
would you consider a mother's plea?
This should be hot.
I beg you, for my daughter's sake. Angelique, my fragile, sweet daughter, I beg you to drop this suit.
Told you.
She can't take it. The anger, the bitterness. Please, to spare her any more pain, I am begging you to drop this paternity suit and rescind the subpoenas.
Helga, nobody was sorrier than I was when Angelique collapsed, okay? But she's gonna be fine. And in case you haven't noticed, she's coming around to believing me.
Believing you? Based on what? That document you saw in the Shakespeare volume was nothing but
what? What? A figment of my imagination, right?
I attended Hugo Marrick daily for months, weeks before he died. We talked about everything. If he had written a will and named you an heir, he would have told me.
He told the Lawrences, the butler and his wife.
Edmund, you are not his son.
You were with him in Budapest the year that I was conceived. Now, I didn't get a lot from Dimitri's papers, but I got some dates, and I can count backwards. Now, Alfred Gresham, my alleged father, he wasn't even in Hungary the year I was born, but my mother was. She got pregnant, came home, and married him.
You are doing your poor mother a great dishonor.
Oh, don't give me that.
Flora and Hugo were not lovers.
Helga, how is it that you're so sure of that?
She was an honest, hard-working girl.
She was sleeping with him.
She was not. There was no affair.
Oh, come off it.
Hey, look, just take it easy.
Mr. Marrick was kind to your mother, as he was to all his employees. But he did not father her son.
Helga, for once in your life, will you tell somebody the truth?
I apologize for interrupting this meeting.
See you in court. We got a suit to file. We got bodies to dig up.
Just come here, bodies to dig up. Let's just talk about our other options first, shall we?
What other options?
Well, my favorite, for instance, is the calm and reasonable approach. I find it works wonders when done correctly.
Like what?
Like, why don't you just let me take care of this, huh?
There's a difference between turning to a woman for comfort and fathering her child and not taking responsibility.
But he did take responsibility. He provided Flora with a home and a job for as long as she lived, and in the end, he acknowledged her son.
Show me proof, Brooke. I mean, give me hard, cold evidence and I'll buy it. You can't show me any proof. All you've got is speculation backed up by Edmund's lies.
All right, let's put away the idle speculation and let's talk about you and Edmund. Before you went to prep school, you and Edmund, you had a close friendship for years.
Look, I don't remember any of that.
You taught him how to ride a bike. You let him ride your pony when Alfred wasn't around.
What's the point?
The point is, you and he had a boyhood friendship that sometimes people keep for life. Why did you turn against him?
Look, he was a belligerent little smart mouth, and I got sick of it, so we fought.
You broke his nose.
He had a major attitude problem. Anyway, my life changed after that. I was never home except for holidays and a month or so during the summer.
You left Wildwood. You escaped. Edmund was always here. He was abused on these very grounds by two men, Alfred, who attacked him savagely on a regular basis, and Hugo. I mean, his abuse was verbal, but it was equally deadly.
You're quick to accuse men who can't defend themselves?
It's a sad story. It's a story about two boys who were basically raised together. One who was safe and secure, and the other who was battered and damaged.
You have only his word.
And Angelique's. And she may have been right when she questioned Edmund's brotherly compassion, but where's yours, Dimitri? Where's your ounce of compassion for the hell that he went through?
You're right about one thing, Brooke. There was a time when Edmund and I were close when we were boys.
And you were always in trouble. And when you got caught, you covered for each other like master criminals.
Yeah, he was younger, but he was clever. Funny, sharp, always willing to take risks. And yes, for a couple of years, he was a hell of a good friend.
The best. And he's still the same person. He still is that funny, smart partner in crime that you remember, and the reason I know that is because that's the man that I fell in love with.
Only now, he is a liar. A clever liar full of envy and rage and hatred for me.
Yes. Envy and rage are a part of what he feels, and why not? I mean, you were showered with every advantage, and he was denied the basic birthright that every child deserves, to grow up loved and safe.
Brooke, I did not destroy a will. I did not do it.
Dimitri, I don't think you did, but I am telling you, there is a document that was witnessed by Wilfred and Bertha Lawrence, and it existed briefly in that volume of Shakespeare. I am sure of it. It was there, and then it disappeared. Aren't you ready to find out what really happened to it?
All right. If you have a theory, let's hear it.
Okay. Someone else took it.
Oh, Mr. Montgomery.
Hello, Helga.
Come in.
Thank you.
I beg your pardon, but Mr. Montgomery is here.
Thank you again, Helga. Hello, Brooke.
Jack?
Hi, Dimitri. I'm sorry to barge in like this, but what I have to say to you is rather urgent.
Well, I guess I don't need to ask what it's about, then.
It would be better, probably, if we talked privately.
I was just going anyway. I hope that you'll think about everything I said.
Brooke, wait. I would like to thank you for coming. And also thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for listening.
So, Jackson, don't keep me in suspense. What's the urgency? My wife? She's resting comfortably and not receiving visitors. Or is this another formal request on Edmund's behalf to raid my attic once again?
No, it's not. Actually, we think we found a simpler, faster way to resolve this question.
The question of slandering my father's good name.
Dimitri, suppose there was a simple and scientific method by which we could decide once and for all if Hugo Marrick was Edmund's father or not. Would you let us proceed?
That would depend.
All right, that's fair enough. Tell me, what do you know about genetic testing?
A little. I'm aware that sometimes blood tests have proved paternity. Of course, the candidates have to be alive.
Yes, for blood tests, that's true. But for DNA testing, the information can be extracted from a sample of human tissue.
Are you suggesting comparing my genetic information with Edmund's would prove who his father was?
No, not exactly. What we're considering is comparing Edmund's information to that of Hugo Marrick's and Alfred Gresham's.
What?
It's a fairly simple procedure.
You want to dig up my father?
We're asking for your cooperation in this matter,
Wait a
yes.
minute. You want to open my family mausoleum and raid my father's tomb?
We want the remains of Hugo Marrick and Alfred Gresham exhumed.
Well, are you out of your mind? I mean, where the hell... Oh, wait a second. Wait 1 minute. This was a setup, wasn't it?
What was a setup?
What? This, you and Brooke. What, the old 1-2 punch? You send her in first to soften me up, and then you move right in for the kill?